Deep spiritual discernment is not something that can be taught in schools, learned from books, or acquired through simple observation. It is a gift that comes from a higher connection, a divine alignment with God that allows the chosen ones to see beyond what ordinary eyes perceive. Spiritual discernment works as an internal compass, guiding them in the midst of confusion, helping them separate truth from deception, and revealing hidden realities that others are often blind to. This ability is not always easy to carry because it brings with it the burden of awareness. While others may remain comfortably distracted, chosen ones sense the undercurrents of situations, the unspoken motives of people, and the unseen movements of the spiritual realm. It is like walking through life with a heightened sensitivity where nothing is as surface level as it appears, and every encounter carries layers of meaning waiting to be unveiled. For many chosen ones, this discernment reveals itself early in life. They may notice inconsistencies in people's words and actions, sense when something is not right even when everyone else believes it is fine, or feel a spiritual heaviness in places others would not think twice about. It is a piercing clarity that cuts through illusions, giving them insight into both human nature and divine truth. They may not always be able to explain why they know what they know, but they carry an inner certainty that cannot be shaken. This inner certainty often comes from the Spirit of God whispering to them, revealing secrets of the heart, or warning them of dangers ahead. What makes this discernment unique is that it is not based on human logic alone, but on a divine channel of wisdom. Because of this gift, chosen ones often stand apart from the crowd. They cannot easily be fooled by empty words or manipulated by false intentions. Their discernment allows them to detect lies dressed as truth, and they often feel an inner stirring when something is wrong even before any evidence surfaces. This makes them both powerful and misunderstood. Others may think they are being suspicious, paranoid, or overly cautious, but time usually proves their discernment right. They can recognize toxic energy long before it reveals itself openly, and they often see through facades that most people accept without question. This is one of the reasons why chosen ones may seem distant or selective about who they allow into their lives, because their discernment warns them that not everyone is safe for their spirit. This gift also shows up in how chosen ones interact with opportunities and decisions. Where others may chase after things that appear glamorous or profitable, the chosen ones pause and test the spirit behind it. They are not easily swayed by appearances because they are tuned in to what lies beneath. They may walk away from situations that everyone else is running toward, not because they are afraid or doubtful, but because their discernment alerts them to unseen dangers or hidden costs. This ability allows them to be preserved from many traps, both spiritual and worldly, and positions them for the right opportunities that align with their higher calling. While others may struggle with regret after hasty decisions, chosen ones often carry peace in their choices because they trust the divine nudge within them more than external pressures. Spiritual discernment is also deeply connected to empathy and sensitivity. Chosen ones can feel the emotions of others, sometimes even before the other person speaks. They can walk into a room and immediately sense tension, sadness, joy, or hidden conflict. This awareness allows them to be a source of comfort and truth, but it also exposes them to burdens others do not carry. They may struggle with the weight of knowing too much or feeling too deeply, because their spirits absorb the vibrations around them. Yet even in this, their discernment serves a divine purpose, because it helps them recognize who needs encouragement, who is battling silently, and who carries harmful intent beneath a friendly mask. Their insight into human emotions often helps them give timely words of healing or warnings that protect others from harm. In the spiritual realm, discernment becomes even more profound. Chosen ones often sense spiritual warfare in ways others cannot. They may experience dreams, visions, or sudden revelations that alert them to attacks or shifts in the unseen world. This discernment is part of why their lives feel like constant battles, because they can perceive the forces that are working against them and against the purpose they carry. It also strengthens their prayer life, because their discernment gives them clarity about what to pray for, how to intercede, and when to remain silent. They can detect the difference between divine guidance and deceptive distractions, between true light and counterfeit illusions. This is one of the most powerful aspects of their hidden ability, because it keeps them aligned with God's will even when the path ahead is clouded by uncertainty. This gift does not come without cost. Chosen ones with deep discernment often feel isolated, because not everyone understands their awareness. They may carry warnings or insights that others dismiss, leading them to question themselves at times. But as they grow spiritually, they learn to trust this inner voice more, recognizing that it is not a curse, but a blessing. Their discernment is not meant to make them fearful, but to make them prepared, not meant to make them arrogant, but to make them humble in service to God's plan. They are entrusted with sight beyond the natural, not for their own pride, but for the protection of others and the fulfillment of their calling. Over time, chosen ones learn to balance their discernment with wisdom and compassion. They realize that seeing the truth does not always mean they must speak it immediately. Sometimes their discernment calls them to patience, to watch and pray, and to allow God's timing to reveal what they already know. Other times, it calls them to speak boldly, even when their words are unpopular, because their insight is meant to awaken others. This balance is part of the refining process, teaching them when to act, when to wait, and when to simply observe. In this way, their discernment becomes not only a gift, but also a tool of growth, maturity, and service. Ultimately, deep spiritual discernment is one of the most defining abilities of God's chosen ones. It equips them to navigate a world full of deception, protects them from harm, and aligns them with divine truth. It allows them to walk in wisdom that surpasses their years, to see through illusions that mislead others, and to live with a sensitivity to the unseen that keeps them close to God. Their journey may be heavy at times, carrying the burden of knowing what others cannot yet see, but it is through this hidden ability that they fulfill their role as light, bearers, truth, seekers, and protectors of divine purpose. Extraordinary resilience through trials and unseen battles is one of the most striking marks of those chosen by God, a strength that often confuses both their enemies and even those who stand close to them. This resilience is not simply human endurance or the ability to push through difficult moments. It is a divine empowerment that allows chosen ones to rise after every fall, to walk through fire without being consumed, and to stand firm when storms rage on every side. Life for the chosen is rarely smooth or easy, because their very identity attracts opposition. Yet what makes them remarkable is not the absence of struggle, but their ability to survive, endure, and transform through those struggles in ways that reveal a deeper spiritual force guiding them. Where others would collapse under the weight of certain trials, chosen ones somehow keep moving forward, carrying scars, but also carrying wisdom and unshakable faith. This resilience often begins to show itself from an early age. Many chosen ones face adversity before they even fully understand who they are. Their childhoods may be marked by hardship, rejection, misunderstanding, or loss. These early experiences shape them, pressing them into situations where they must find inner strength long before others their age even think about such things. While others grow up with comfort and stability, the chosen often grow up in environments that test their ability to survive, to hold on to hope, and to lean on a power greater than themselves. These early trials become the training ground for resilience, because they teach the chosen ones that even in the face of difficulty, they are never completely broken. Instead, every trial carves into them deeper character, sharper awareness, and a stronger spirit. What makes their resilience extraordinary is that it is not merely about surviving, but about transforming adversity into fuel. Chosen ones do not simply endure hardship, they extract meaning from it. They find ways to learn from the pain, to grow from the rejection, and to use their struggles as preparation for greater battles ahead. Each setback becomes a stepping stone, each wound becomes a lesson, and each valley becomes a place where they discover hidden reserves of strength they never knew they had. Unlike many who allow trials to harden them into bitterness, chosen ones allow trials to refine them into resilience. Their scars are not signs of defeat but proof that they have walked through darkness and still carry light within. Much of this resilience comes from their awareness of unseen battles. Chosen ones recognize that their struggles are not only physical or emotional but spiritual. They sense when opposition rises against them, not just in the form of people or circumstances, but in forces that work in the invisible realm. This awareness helps them endure differently than others, because they know their fight is not against flesh and blood, but against greater forces. This knowledge strengthens their endurance because they understand that their trials have a larger purpose, and their resilience is not just about personal survival, but about fulfilling a divine mission. They carry the understanding that if they can withstand the storm, their breakthrough carries significance beyond themselves. Their resilience also shows itself in their ability to stand alone when necessary. Chosen ones often face seasons of isolation, when friends, family, or communities do not understand their path. They may be abandoned, betrayed, or misjudged, yet they keep moving forward. While loneliness can crush many, chosen ones discover a hidden companionship with God during these times that deepens their strength. They learn to lean on divine presence in ways others do not, and this reliance becomes the core of their resilience. It teaches them that even if the world turns against them, they are never truly alone. This is why chosen ones can endure rejection without losing their sense of worth, because their value is anchored in something eternal rather than temporary approval. Resilience is also evident in how chosen ones handle repeated setbacks. Where others might give up after one or two major disappointments, chosen ones rise again and again. Their journey may involve countless failures, losses, or delays, yet they do not allow these experiences to define them. Instead, they embody the truth that resilience is not about never falling, but about always rising. This repeated rising often confuses those who expect them to stay down. Enemies who plot against them may succeed temporarily, but the chosen ones rise again, stronger and wiser than before. It is this cycle of falling and rising that builds in them an endurance that cannot be shaken, because each time they rise, they discover just how unbreakable their spirit truly is. Extraordinary resilience also manifests in the way chosen ones carry peace and hope in the midst of turmoil. Even when everything around them is collapsing, they radiate a calmness that does not make sense to those watching. This peace does not come from ignoring reality, but from trusting in the unseen hand guiding their steps. Their resilience allows them to walk with faith when others give in to fear, to hold on to hope when others see no way out, and to believe in possibility when the situation looks impossible. This hope-driven resilience inspires others because it proves that strength is not only about physical might, but about spiritual endurance that transcends circumstances. Often, chosen ones find that their resilience is tested most fiercely when they are closest to a breakthrough. The intensity of trials increases as they draw nearer to fulfilling their purpose, yet this is also when their resilience shines brightest. They discover that endurance is not about avoiding hardship, but about pressing through it with unwavering determination. Their ability to keep believing, to keep pushing, and to keep standing firm even when exhausted is what separates them from others. This extraordinary resilience is what carries them into their destiny, because it ensures that they do not quit before the victory manifests. The unseen battles they fight also serve to strengthen their spiritual muscles. Every spiritual attack, every unexpected trial, every hidden opposition builds in them a deeper resilience that equips them for greater responsibility. They learn to discern the patterns of these battles, to recognize when they are under attack, and to respond with prayer, faith, and determination. Over time, this resilience becomes so ingrained in them that even when fresh trials arise, they face them with a quiet confidence, knowing they have already overcome much worse before. This is why chosen ones can sometimes appear fearless, not because they feel no fear, but because their resilience reminds them that fear has no power over their destiny. Their extraordinary resilience also protects their purpose. Many chosen ones are called to impact lives, to lead, to inspire, or to break generational patterns. Without resilience, they would be crushed by the weight of these callings. But because resilience is woven into their very being, they are able to withstand the pressure, the attacks, and the sacrifices required to fulfill their mission. This resilience ensures that no matter what comes against them, their purpose remains intact, and their journey continues forward. It is resilience that allows them to keep their hearts pure when bitterness could take root, to keep their vision alive when distractions surround them, and to keep their faith strong when doubt whispers that they should give up. In every way, extraordinary resilience is a mark of divine favor and divine preparation. It is not something the chosen ones earn by their own strength, but something that flows through them because of the one who chose them. They are living testimonies that no matter how fierce the battle, no matter how long the storm, and no matter how heavy the burden, resilience makes it possible to endure and to overcome. This resilience is what transforms their trials into testimonies, their battles into victories, and their pain into purpose, proving that they are equipped with a hidden ability that sets them apart from the rest of the world, a divine influence that inspires, uplifts, and transforms others, is one of the most profound abilities that God's chosen ones possess, a hidden gift that radiates from within them and touches the lives of people around them in ways that cannot always be explained by logic. This influence is not rooted in material wealth, social status, or outward recognition, but in the spiritual authority and presence they carry. When chosen ones enter a room, there is often a shift in the atmosphere, a sense of peace, conviction, or encouragement that follows them without them even trying to make it happen. Their words may be simple, their gestures small, but the impact is powerful because it comes not from them alone, but from the divine light working through them. People who encounter them often feel seen, understood, or strengthened, and sometimes even convicted to change aspects of their lives. This influence is subtle yet undeniable, a mark of their connection with God and the calling they carry. Chosen ones often do not fully realize how deeply their presence affects others. They may assume they are just speaking normally, offering casual advice, or simply living their lives, yet others around them feel deeply moved or transformed. This is because divine influence is not about effort, but about alignment. The more chosen ones walk in alignment with their spiritual calling, the more their lives naturally radiate influence. Their resilience through trials, their discernment, their faith, and their humility become a living testimony that speaks louder than any words. People look at their lives and wonder how they can endure so much yet still carry light, how they can be misunderstood yet still show compassion, and how they can walk in storms yet remain anchored. This testimony itself becomes influence because it shows others that divine strength is real and attainable. Often, this influence comes in the form of encouragement. Chosen ones have an ability to speak life into the weary, to give hope to the brokenhearted, and to remind people of their own worth when they have forgotten it. Their words carry weight because they come from a place of authenticity, having been shaped by their own struggles and triumphs. They know what it feels like to be crushed, rejected, or misunderstood, so when they offer encouragement, it is not empty but rooted in experience. People feel the difference when chosen ones speak, because they sense that these words are not just human comfort, but divine truth flowing through them. This is why even a short conversation with a chosen one can leave someone feeling renewed, inspired, and motivated to keep moving forward. At the same time, divine influence does not only comfort but also challenges. Chosen ones often inspire others to reflect on their own lives, to confront areas they have ignored, and to pursue higher paths. Their presence has a way of stirring conviction in people, not because they condemn or judge, but because their lives mirror a standard of authenticity and faith that makes others want to rise higher. This influence pushes people to leave behind toxic patterns, to step into their potential, and to seek truth more earnestly. It is influence that transforms not by force, but by example. People feel drawn to improve themselves, not because they are pressured, but because they see what is possible when someone lives aligned with divine calling. This influence is not always comfortable for others. Sometimes the chosen one's very presence exposes dishonesty, hypocrisy, or hidden motives. People may feel uneasy around them, not because the chosen are doing anything wrong, but because the light within them reveals the darkness in others. This can lead to resistance, jealousy, or even hostility, because influence has two effects. It can inspire change, or it can trigger defensiveness in those not ready to change. Chosen ones often experience both, which is why their journey is filled with both followers who are deeply uplifted by them and critics who cannot stand them. Yet even this resistance proves the strength of their influence, because it shows that their presence cannot be ignored. Divine influence also extends beyond personal interactions. Many chosen ones carry influence in unseen ways, through their prayers, their creativity, their work, or their service. Their prayers can shift atmospheres, protect families, and open doors for others without anyone realizing it. Their creative expressions, whether in art, writing, music, or speech, carry a divine anointing that touches people's souls. Their work, even in ordinary professions, often leaves a mark because they bring integrity, passion, and excellence that sets them apart. Their acts of service, often done quietly without recognition, ripple into the lives of many, inspiring kindness and creating lasting change. Influence for the chosen is rarely about spotlight moments. It is often about consistent impact that slowly transforms lives over time. The way chosen ones inspire others often comes from their ability to live authentically. They do not have to pretend to be perfect or flawless. In fact, their willingness to be vulnerable about their struggles and weaknesses is part of what makes them so impactful. When people see that the chosen ones have faced brokenness yet still carry hope, it resonates deeply. Their stories of survival, perseverance, and faith are often the very tools God uses to transform others. Their influence lies not in pretending they have never fallen, but in showing that even after falling, they rise again stronger and more faithful. This makes their testimony relatable, powerful, and transformative for those who hear it. The influence they carry also plants seeds that continue to grow long after they are gone. A single conversation, a kind gesture, a prayer, or even an example of integrity may seem small in the moment, but for the person receiving it, it can be life-changing. Many people who encounter chosen ones later look back and realize that those moments shaped their direction or gave them the strength they needed at a crucial time. This lasting impact shows that divine influence is not bound by time. It continues to echo in the lives of others, sometimes even across generations, because the chosen one's example sets a foundation for change that outlives them. Even when chosen ones feel unnoticed or unappreciated, their influence is still at work. They may not always see the fruit of their impact immediately, but their presence is planting seeds in people's hearts that will eventually bloom. Some may remember their words years later during a dark moment. Others may find courage from recalling their resilience, and others may choose a better path because of the example they set. Divine influence does not require applause or acknowledgement. It is powerful because it is rooted in purpose, not recognition. In many ways, the influence of chosen ones is a reflection of God's light shining through them. It is not about personal glory, but about being a vessel that channels inspiration, healing, and transformation into the world. This is why chosen ones often feel a weight of responsibility with their influence. They understand that people are watching, listening, and learning from them, even when they are unaware. This pushes them to live with integrity, to remain humble, and to stay connected to God, because their influence is not their own but a gift entrusted to them for the good of others. Ultimately, a divine influence that inspires, uplifts, and transforms is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. Their lives carry a light that cannot be hidden, their presence shifts the atmosphere around them, and their words and actions leave an imprint that lingers in the hearts of those they encounter. This influence is not about forcing change, but about awakening it within others, showing them the possibility of hope, strength, and purpose. Even when they do not realize it, chosen ones are shaping lives, guiding hearts, and leaving behind a legacy of transformation that continues far beyond their presence. Their hidden ability to inspire is proof that God works through them to touch the world in ways they themselves may never fully comprehend. And it is through this influence that the chosen fulfill their highest calling to be vessels of light and transformation in a world that desperately needs it.